Which one? Like the lady's name. Was she getting second initiation? Fire sacrifice she did a couple of days ago?
No. For leading Shantamara.
No, before that. There's a,
before
that, there's someone who's getting second initiation.
It was a couple of days ago. Today is Friday, Wednesday.
Who did? No. I did it yesterday for Shantamara.
Fire sacrifice.
Okay.
Okay, so it's for sure. Thursday.
No. Yes, true.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Om Jnana Timirandasya Ginajana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtang Stapitang Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayang Dadati Swa Padantikam Vandehang Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalang Shri Gurun Vaishnavangscha Shri Rupang Sagrajatang Sahagana Raghunathan Vitang Tang Sajivang Sadvaitang Savadutang Harijana Saitang Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishnakanvitangscha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Iti Namane Shivashabhanavi Devi Dayataya Kripabdaye Krishna Sambandha Vijnana Dayane Prabhave Namaha Madhuryo Jwala Premaja Shri Rupanuga Bhaktida Shri Gora Karuna Shakti Vigrahaya Namostute Namaste Gauravani Shimurtaye Dinatarine Rupanuga Virudapa Siddhanta Grantaharine Namo Gorakishoraya Sakshad Vairagya Murtaye Vipralamba Prasambodhe Padambujaya Te Namaha Namo Bhakti Vinodaya Satchidananda Namane Gora Shakti Swarupaya Rupanuga Varayate Gorabira Baba Bhumestwam Nirdeshta Sajjana Priya Vaishnava Sarvabhauma Sri Jagannathaya Te Namaha Vanchakalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Yaevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gaur Tishe Namaha Panchatatva Ekam Krishnan Bhakta Rupa Swarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktyakhyam Namami Bhakti Shaktikam Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Jayatang Surito Pangor Mamamanda Matergati Nasarvasva Padambojo Radha Madana Mohano Divyan Vrindaranya Kalpa Jumada Srimad Ratnagara Singhasanasto Srimad Radha Srila Govinda Devo Prashtalebi Savyamano Sparami Sriman Prasarasarambi Vamshivata Tatasitaha Parshan Venuswanayar Gopir Gopinata Striyestunaha Tapta Kanchana Gorangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Krishnabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye, Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhar, Shri Vasudeva Gaur Bhakta Vrinda, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So we'll chant Srila Bhaktisiddhanta's Pranam mantras again. There's four of them, so we'll go through all four. And each time I'll say, when I say Pushpanjali, then offer a portion of your flowers. We'll do this 3 times. And then and bow and offer your respectful obeisances after offering. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Iti Namane Shri Varshnavanavi Devi Dayataya Kripabdaye Krishna Sambandha Vigana Dayane Prabhave Namaha Madhuryo Chvala Premaja Shri Rupanuga Bhaktida Shri Gora Karuna Shakti Vigrahaya Namostute Namaste Gauravani Shrimurtaye Dinatarine Rupanuga Virudapa Siddhanta Dvantaharine Pushpanjali. His Divine Grace Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Bow down, offer obeisances. So again, Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Iti Namane Shri Varshnavanavi Devi Dayataya Kripabdaye Krishna Sambandha Vigana Dayane Prabhave Namaha Madhuryo Chvala Premaja Shri Rupanuga Bhaktida Shri Gora Karuna Shakti Vigrahaya Namostute Namaste Gauravani Shrimurtaye Dinatarine Rupanuga Virudapa Siddhanta Dvantaharine Pushpanjali. His Divine Grace Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. And one more time. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Iti Namane Shri Varshnavanavi Devi Dayataya Kripabdaye Krishna Sambandha Vijnana Dayane Prabhave Namaha Madhuryo Premaja Shri Rupanuga Bhaktida Shri Gaurakaruna Shakti Vigrahaya Namostute Namaste Gauravani Shri Murtaye Dinatarine Rupanuga Virudapa Siddhanta Dantaharine Pushpanjali His Divine Grace Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai.
Who's on the other end? Who's doing the Arctic Department?
Srila Prabhupada. Yeah. Should start the first Arctic was Bhaktisiddhanta. Yeah, that's the whole point.
Jaya
It's in this way.
Yeah, because Bhaktisiddhanta teaches here.
Hare Krishna. Thank you for this opportunity to speak about Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati in such an important day. for giving me the opportunity. Obviously, there is no need to mention that I feel more than unqualified to speak about the glories of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati itself. The activities of the great devotees of the Lord are at the same spiritual level of the activities of the Supreme Personality of God. They are his eternal associates, his and her eternal associates. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami says that after compiling the whole big Chaitanya Charitamrita, over and over, he reminds us, he tells us that all what I am saying here is just a few selected pastimes of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Because all the pastimes that Lord Chaitanya performed in one day in Puri will fill a huge book of infinite volume. Each one of them. So what to speak of mentioning all the pastimes of Mahaprabhu will be practically impossible to write. It says that not even Shesha, Ananta Shesha, millions and millions of mouths could describe all the pastimes that Mahaprabhu performed in one day. So he just selected a few more noticeable ones and wrote them into the Chaitanya Charitamrita. Just like Srimad Bhagavatam, the pastimes that we have of Krishna in Srimad Bhagavatam, a few selected ones. The pastimes that we read in the Krishna book and Srimad Bhagavatam are not all the pastimes that Krishna performed. He was 125 years in this world. These are just a few selected ones. Because every day he performed unlimited pastimes through his unlimited Prakasha Vigraha, manifested form similar to this. So similarly, this level of eternal associate of Krishna, they have so many activities that not even in months we could stop, we could finish it. So in a day like today, I will can speak just a few selected noticeable activities of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he was born a day like today. That's why he appeared. Actually, a 6th of February, a 6 like today. It's not always on the same day, but exactly like today, February the 6th, 1874. 1874, and he came to this world as a request from his father and all the eternal associates of Krishna. His friends knew him as Kedaranath Dat, that was his name, but we know him as Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur. Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur, for a while, he has been praying to have a son that is like a great Krishna. Of course, none of his children are ordinary souls. They are all liberated souls. But Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur was a special one. Lalita Prasad, we call him Lalita Prasad, because he was praying to Krishna, Lalita Devi, to please send me a powerful soul that can help me in spreading the glories of Mahaprabhu. And as a result of his praying, praying pays off. When you pray with intensity, it pays off. Krishna sent him a very powerful soul. He was born a day like today, and as we have heard many times, when the astrologers look at the child, they could see 32 symptoms of the Mahabhagavata, the Mahapurusha, in his body. There are different symptoms in the body. A little baby that they can tell, this is a Mahapurusha. It's not a soul of this world. He was also born with the umbilical cord wrapped around his shoulder, like a camel. That's Instead of like this was like this. And there are obviously two kinds of perfect devotees. There is one kind of perfect devotee that who comes to perfection after many, many lifetimes of practicing sadhana bhakti. Like for example, we have them in the case of Ramachandra. We saw the sages of Naimisaranya, the sages of Naimisaranya, Dandakaranya. The sages, when they saw Sri Ramachandra, they developed the conjugal mood. That means that the conjugal mood for God had nothing to do with the physical body because they were male. But still, they were so attracted that the rasa of the conjugal mood was manifested in them. And they attained perfection in their next lifetime, being born in Krishna Lila as a girl. So these kind of devotees are very exalted. They have attained perfection after many lifetimes of practice. We call them sadhana siddhas. Souls who attain perfection through regular practice. And we are in that path. We are in that path to become sadhana siddha. We may be in kindergarten, just studying, but we are on the path. So there are other souls who are nitya siddhas. They are perfect, eternally perfect. They did not attain perfection through a path of bhakti. So Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati is one of them. So when he was a little child, very little, 6 months after he was born, there was a traditional Rath Yatra in Puri. Everybody knows this, but it's always good to read it. So on the car of Jagannath Ratha stopped for 3 days in front of the house of Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur, for 3 days without moving. People didn't know why the car was not moving. And finally somebody say, hey, Kedaranath, some friends, you have been praying, we know that you have been praying for a powerful child. And you maybe bring it, maybe Jagannath wants to see your son. And okay, he called his wife came with Bhaktisiddhanta's mother, reminding what kind of devotee you have to be the mother of Bhaktisiddhanta. And she was showing the little baby, 6 months old, to the Jagannath deity, and one garland fell from the deity. Sometimes we hear that was from the neck, some other people say that it's from the arm. It doesn't matter. Krishna is absolute. Any part of his body is okay. And the garland fell on top of the little baby. And at that time, the car began to move again. So we can imagine. Us, it falls stones on our head. And when he was very, very short, very, very little, about 5, 6 years old, he memorized the whole Bhagavad Gita completely. He has an incredible memory. He was this kind of personality that obviously they are like superhuman. No human being can compare. 7 years old, he could memorize the whole Bhagavad. I heard that Srila Prabhupada memorized the Brahma Samhita when he was also 7 years old. And once when his father, he was hanging out with his divine father, doing some arrangement for building something, I don't remember the details, and they were digging the ground, and they found a deity of Kurma avatar. And then his father told him, you worship Kurma. And he worshipped Kurma for many, many, many years. So Srila Bhaktisiddhanta also, when he was a very young man, he was so bright that he got an employment with the royal family. The king gave him an employment, and also a salary, a small salary. And he took advantage of that time to read the whole library of the king. He read the whole library. So that's why he could speak on every subject matter related even to Western philosophy, Western history, Western philosophy. You remember that at that time, India was under the influence of the British Empire. Everything was being westernized. India was being launched into modernity. when the British got into India, India was quite behind. It has been under the Muslims' rule for many, many years. The Mughal Empire was coming to an end, and the British came and modernized India. No, for good or for bad or anything. So they modernized India, and everything was British. All the intellectuals wanted to be like British-like. So he was employed by the king, and he read the whole library. And then the king wanted to give him a better position, but he said, no, this is not good for my spiritual practices. I have other goals in life. And he became so prominent as an astrologer that he was also got an invitation from a university, very prominent university, to teach astrology and other subject matters. But he refused. No, that's not the path that I want to pursue. And he even renounced a permanent pension that the king was offering. Now, imagine that now the president of the United States offers you a pension for lifetime to do whatever you want to do. I'm going to give you $5,000 per month to do whatever you want to do. Would you say no? Okay, that 5,000, that's too little, very little. I want more. So Bhaktisiddhanta said, no, I want to maintain myself with whatever little money I can get, so I will not become entangled. Because when you get favor from somebody, you have debt of gratitude, isn't it? Something is expected, nothing in this world is for free. So he renounced, he went on his own way, he began to travel, and his name began to be very prominent because of his scholarship, his sanctity, and saintliness. And by the age of like 20-something or 30-something, he decided to follow the path of Haridas Thakur. He took the vow to chant 1 billion holy names. 1 billion. 1 billion holy names. And he was chanting 64 rounds a day. No, not 64. More than that. 192, 170 something rounds a day. Yeah, sometimes people say 92, but if you divide 300,000 by 16, it's like 177. But anyway, maybe go 300 something. Right? Yeah. And he built a cottage of grass, dry grass, and he was so busy engaged in chanting of this, fulfilling this vow, that when it was raining, during the rainy season, if you have been in India in the rainy season, I was in India in the rainy season, I mean, it pours. It's horrible. Then he got an umbrella. I was holding an umbrella over his head and keep chanting the name. And some of his friends told him, why you don't fix the roof? Why do you fix? No, otherwise if I fix the roof, I have no time to finish my ground. Besides that, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I just want to do this. And he was taking the Chaturmasya vow. He was eating once a day, only rice, cooked in ghee, rice with ghee. And he used to put it on the floor or on a banana leaf and bow down like a cow. He eat like a cow. He was sitting, bending down like a cow and eat it. Eat it from there, not using his hands. And once I heard, I haven't read it, but once I heard that he would eat as much as he could during one breath, one breathing. When you need to breathe, that's it. That's what I heard. And he was doing this for a while, many, many years. And Bhaktisiddhanta, he was not only a great scholar, Papa considered him the most prominent scholar of his time, modern India, but he was also a very humble. As expected from him, for an associate of Krishna, he was also very, very humble. It is said that he used to walk through what is now the area of Mayapur temple, the Gaudiya Math is there, so that area, followed by many disciples. And there was one person that always used to criticize him. Of course, he was criticized and loved during his life. We'll talk about it. And when he was walking through that path, this person, he has many enemies. I don't know if you know that. He and his father, they made many, many enemies. They have many enemies because they were destroying the interest personal interest. How many Kalkas and the different so-called Vaishnava organizations, Agis, etc. The Babajis, they were cutting down everybody. And this person used to say, there he goes, the great Acharya, he thinks that he's the big thing, working with his disciples, working like if he was the big thing. For us, this is not too much, but in India, in 1800, late 1800 India, in a society that is ruled by those principles, like a Brahminical society, etc., this Orthodox society, this is very painful. And his disciple got a little bit angry and said, no, just leave him. It doesn't matter that he called him names. And this happened for many years. And once he was walking on the path and that person wasn't there anymore. And he said, what happened? What is this man? And some of his disciples told him, very happy. He died. He passed away. When he died, that Krishna, whatever, took him because his offenses. And Bhaktisiddhanta was very sad when he heard this news. And no, actually I saw him as a manifestation of my Guru. Because in that way, by telling me all those things he was telling me, he was forcing me to remain humble. He was forcing me to take a humble position. I saw him like my Guru reminding me, you don't think you are the big deal. Don't think you are a big thing, just stay humble. But this is the greatness of these personalities. During his life, he as well as his father, but also specifically him, because he took the mission of his father further, he has to face many challenges, many challenges. Practically, I would not dare to take this father. He was changing everything. He was a revolutionary, completely revolutionary. In a sense, I don't know if you would be angry to hear this, he was the precursor, you say in English, precursor, the forerunner, precursor of what is now the Krishna West. He was the forerunner, yes, because he realized that because of the change, the times have been changing, this view of the sadhu with dirty feet, dressing rags, was not appreciated very much by the educational classes of India, specifically those who were under the influence of the British Empire. Then the intellectual class in India was becoming Europeanized, becoming Europeans. I am making up a word. Like Prabhupada used to say, Krishnaized, say Europeanized. So everybody was imitating European values. So he realized that this concept of the sadhu, walking barefoot, with rags, it was not reaching at the level of the educated classes. So what he did, something that was, nobody expected that from a person in the renowned order of life. He began to dress in very fine dress, Western dress. He was silk dhoti or silk kurta on top. He used to wear like a overall, like a Western overall. Very fine shoes, And he even rode in cars, modern cars, right? That was unheard of. And he even dared to enter Vrindavan in a car. The first car rolling into Vrindavan is a sannyasi, a person who has renowned the world, sitting in a very expensive car, dressed with very expensive fine clothes. That's why they wanted to kill him. And many people opposed him, and he was teaching with practical example what is Yukta Vairagya. How we should perceive and understand how time changes. Times were changing, and apply Rupa Goswami's teaching according to the time. So gradually he began to take more and more disciples, very learned people from different Indian institutions. They came under his tutelage, And he founded what is what we know as the Gaudiya Math. The Gaudiya Math, it was a very prestigious society. And he wanted to spread the glories of Mahaprabhu, but he was thinking about how to do it. So he said, I have no money, I have no possessions, how can I spread the mission of Lord Chaitanya? And once he was sleeping, he had a dream. He had a dream in which the whole Panchatattva appeared in his dream. You remember that? The whole Panchatattva appeared in his dream, and not only the Panchatattva, but Bhaktivinoda Thakur, his father, was there dancing with the Panchatattva. And said that many other acharyas were there, associated with Lord Chaitanya, like Srivas Pandit, like Ramananda Roy, like Sarup Damodar, and many others were. They said, no, you go, we will take care of the rest. You go and do it. We will take care of the rest. So, and at that time, he began to spread his mission. And another important detail of his life is that he took sannyas on his own. You know, he gave sannyas to himself. He never took sannyas from somebody, like usually is. Because his guru was a Babaji, you know, Gora Kishore Das Baba. And by the time he took sannyas, the Babaji gave Babaji to other disciples, but not sannyas. Then his guru was gone, and he was his only disciple. And when he decided that he had to take sannyas for the same reason that Lord Chaitanya did it, why Lord Chaitanya took sannyas? To earn the respect of the people. Imagine, he's a personality of Godhead. He could have just said, wait a second, look, I'm God. Are you going to respect me or not? Like Krishna did in universal form. But Lord Chaitanya was playing the role of a human being, a devotee to God. So he realized that, my Pandit realized that people do not respect me because I am not a sannyas. But if I take sannyas, they will respect me. So we see how the great acharya they could perceive how society perceived him. They could see how the society perceived me. Because if you are trying to approach somebody, if I'm trying to preach to a Russian, I cannot speak in Chinese. I have to speak in Russian. So if you want to approach a certain society, you have to speak their own cultural language. So they knew this, the culture, the specific traits of the culture, and you have to speak to the people within that culture. So he took the picture of his guru, Gora Kishore Das Babaji, and he accepted the renounced order of life. That's why he was also criticized. He received so much criticism from everybody, because he was doing things that nobody did before. And that is the destiny of the great visionaries. Yeah, for example, I was reading not too long ago when the Eiffel Tower was installed in Paris. You know, French gave to America the Statue of Liberty, and we, in America, we gave them the Eiffel Tower. But when the Eiffel Tower was built right at the heart of Paris, it received criticism from all the intellectuals of Europe, all the Europeans. Europeans intellectuals from all over Europe used to come to Paris to see the monster. We used to call it as a monster. That destroyed the whole landscape of Paris. Paris landscape is very beautiful. All buildings are made more or less in the same way. It's very beautiful. You go to Paris, it's very beautiful. You say, in the middle of this classic architecture, this tower, it looks like a oil tower, for digging oil. Some people used to call it the monster of iron. Everybody used to criticize it. Everybody, nobody liked it. But nowadays, it's what? It's a symbol of Christ. Nowadays, if you try to remove it, French will kill you. So similarly, these great acharyas, they are visionary, they are ahead of their time. They can see ahead of their time. We can see there are two kinds of intellectuals, thinkers. Those who think logically and very coherently according to the time in which they live, and those who think ahead of their time. Those who think according to the times are applauded by the people. And those who think ahead of their time, they are criticized by the people or glorified by later generations. So Bhaktisiddhanta was one of them. Everything he did was criticized at that time, to the point that even the Brahmins, the Goswamis, from the descendants of the six Goswamis in disciplic succession, they wanted to kill him. They pay an officer, they 25,000 rupees to an officer so that you kill him and you don't say anything. And this officer approached Bhaktisiddhanta and said, look, I have 25,000 rupees here. They gave it to me, they are going to kill you, and they want me to stay quiet, but I cannot do it, I have to tell you because, yes, we pay bribes. And Bhaktisiddhanta asked him, do you actually do this? He said, yes, we do this. But not with you, you know that you are a saint. And in that sense, you could say, at least externally, he saved his life. I mean, of course, they are always protected by Krishna, but externally, he saved his life. Bhaktisiddhanta also, once in Vrindavan, he went to Vrindavan, and because he was such a famous devotee, not only great intellectual, but a famous great saint, everybody expected him to speak about the Krishna Lila, like everybody else was doing. Krishna Lila, specifically 10 cantos, because that's the cream of the cream. No, talking about 10 cantos. You speak about Bhagavatam in Vrindavan, people expect you to speak about 10 cantos. And you speak about 10 cantos, people expect you to speak about Rasa Lila, the cream of the cream, the cherry on top of the cream of the ice cream. But he spent 2 months speaking about the first text of Srimad Bhagavatam. For 2 months, speaking philosophy. And by the way, that reminds me that once Srila Prabhupada was in Vrindavan, somewhere there was a friend, and a friend invited him to hear from a reciter, Srimad Bhagavatam, and the person began to speak Rasa Lila, just reading like that. Srila Prabhupada was a man in his 40s, and he stood up and left. And his friend told him, why are you leaving? He said, no, my guru forbade me to hear about this. He forbade all of us to engage in this kind of hearing. So Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati was Srila Prabhupada also. He was very strict on this. Actually, once he wanted to print Govinda Lilamrita, like Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, and also Gita Govinda, like Jayadeva Goswami. And Bhakti Vinod Thakur told him, you print one copy and for you. So because at that time, that doesn't mean that we cannot read those books or read about them, because those books are destined for us, devotees. But at that time, it was so abused. These issues, these topics were so abused by the Sahajiyas that Bhaktisiddhanta decided to cut by the root, no? To uproot that tendency. So definitely we have an immense debt with Bhaktisiddhanta. He's the more important, the most important, we could call it Lila also, of Bhaktisiddhanta for us, is this meeting with Abai. That's the most important. Otherwise, we would have never heard about him. The most important aspect of his life, one of them at least for us, is that in 1922, he met a young boy in his early late 20s called Abai. Because believe it or not, our Srila Prabhupada, once in his life, he was a young boy. You know? He was not always, like used to say, I am an old man about to die. He was not always the old man. He was a king, and he wasn't always the acharya. And once in his life, he was a young boy. He said, yeah, my friend invited me to play football. Yes, he played football. He was young. But he said, I played goalie, you call it? I played goalie because I was too lazy to get running. I didn't like it. That's just like like Maharaj Pariksit, but he was a child, he was playing with Krishna's God. So Prabhupada, he was born in modern India, and football was introduced by the British. His friend was playing football, and they said, well, let's play football. Okay, but I play golf. So he was not into it. You know? He was not into it. He was going there because his friends, young man, let's go. But since his heart was not there in ordinary playing, so I played goalie and I don't have to be honest. I was too lazy to be honest. So, but once in his life, he was a very young boy with a family, with a wife, with kids, with a job. And a friend of his, is a very intimate friend, invited him to see a sadhu. But he was tired to see so many sadhus and all of them, nowadays in India, even you go, you see so many sadhus smoking, ready for money. And by the time that Srila Prabhupada came to see him, even without, he said that he was sitting down, by the way. It's not that he has been there for a while, no, he was sitting down. And by the time he was sitting down, even without crossing a word, this great personality told him, you are a very well-educated young boy. He was dressed in khaki. You know khaki? By the time of the nationalistic movement of Gandhi, all young Indians were wearing khaki. That means color, a type of clothes, and a kepi hat. That means that you are a follower of Gandhi. You were for Indian independence. By the way, Gandhi, during the first half of his movement, he didn't want Indian independence. He wanted to be part of the British Empire. I don't know if you know this. He was marching because we are citizens of the empire, but we are treated as second-class citizens. Same thing, like the black Americans here, second-class citizens. And he said, no, we are citizens of the empire. We should be like citizens with all the rights of the British. No? But then when the British kills like more than 1,000 people in Amritsar, at that time, in peaceful gathering, he said, no, that's it, independence. No? And Prabhupada joined that movement. He also met, when he was a young man, he also met Subhash Chandra Bose. Some people call Gandhi the white angel, and some people call Subhash Chandra Bose the black angel, because he was into war. He was collecting Indian warriors to fight the British. So Srila Prabhupada liked him because he was advocating for the revival of Indian principles, Indian values. But he was not much into this fighting. So he sided with Gandhi. And when Bhaktisiddhanta told him, you are a very young man, immediately just by seeing him, this is a transcendental vision of the great saints. That production, those who can see the way they are. And he realized this is the person who my father, my father forecasted. What is the word you use? Predicted. Yeah, this is the person that my father predicted that was going to be born. And by the way, Bhaktivinoda Thakur predicted that Bhaktivinoda Thakur's prediction that the person that is going to fulfill the mission of Lord Chaitanya to spread the holy name all around the world is about to be born. It was the same year that Prabhupada was born. Same year. He knew that something was being cooked. These great personalities, they have access to other realm of conception. They know that something is being cooked out there. There is a line of angelical souls coming down, liberated souls coming down, one after another. Which is since Mahaprabhu, one after another coming down. And the turn of the next one is about to come. So Bhaktisiddhanta gave Jonabai a mission that he said, how can we do it? We cannot do that. Nobody is interested in hearing the message of a country that is being oppressed. Nobody respects us. We are a colony. First, we have to get independent with respect from the people. Yes, we are an independent country. Then we can speak. Bhaktisiddhanta said, no. The message of Lord Chaitanya is so urgent that we have no time to be waiting for political changes in the narration. No. Today the British, tomorrow somebody else, yesterday the Moguls. There is always something in this world. You go and do it. And Srila Prabhupada didn't see him for the next 12 years. In fact, Srila Prabhupada said that I only met my guru a few times. A dozen times. 12 times, a little while. But the first time I saw him, that he stayed in my heart forever. The first time he saw him. But he gave me such a mission that how can I fulfill it? I have kids to feed, wife at home. So, and he molded his life in such a way that he somehow or other, at a certain moment in his life, was to be able to do it. Right now I cannot do it, but I will mold my life in such a way that I can fulfill his mission. He was meditating in the orders of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati during his whole life. He was like, when he met him, he was in 1922, he was in 96, like 28 years old, 26 years old, 26. And he started to fulfill his mission when he was 70. Mind, what a determination. The whole life thinking. So one of the occasions that we made Bhaktisiddhanta in Srila Bhaktisiddhanta in Radha Kunda, Bhaktisiddhanta was sort of complaining to him that my disciples do not get. They are always fighting with each other to see who's going to be the next Acharya. We have that nowadays, isn't it? People claiming I'm proper success and this and that. Who's going to take this room, that room, who's going to do? But Abai, I want you are different. If you ever get money, you what? Bring good. So during the last days of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta, Srila Prabhupada wrote a letter to him. What do you want me to do? And the answer was the same. Preach the message of Sri Chaitanya in the English language. And a few days later, like 8 days later, he left the world. And Srila Prabhupada said he left untimely. I think he was 66. Untimely because he was so, disenchanted with his disciples, fighting and this and that he decided to leave because his disciples for him were way too near a fight. So he decided to leave. And he left physically, but Prabhupada said, but I have never felt separated from him. So when we go through the life of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta, we realize that we have so much to learn. Every aspect of his life is a great message for us. The challenges that we have to face, fighting against all the Sahajiyas, the Brahmins, in a rural India, in the religious environment, facing the Brahminical caste, it's like here if we have to, it's more or less like we have to face the government, the police, the city mayor, something like that, the people. He was, in fact, at once, when he went to Puri with his father, he was preaching so strongly that many people were against him, and his life was in danger, but his father told him, no, you go back to Puri. No, he was his father, he was protected. So, you go back to Mayapur. Go back to Mayapur and stay there. Don't come here for a while. It is too hot. And, yes, when his guru left, his guru was such a prominent Babaji that different groups of so-called Vaishnava wanted his body. You know that part, no? Wanted his body to have a samadhi at home and to use it for work. Here it is, we have him to make money because people come and give donations. And Bhaktisiddhanta faced all of them, claiming I am his only disciple, and there was an argument back and forth finally he went into the moral issue. He said, if one of you have not been, because they were Catholics, people who have renounced the war, if any of you have not contacted a woman in the last 3 days, you can take his body. In fact, during the last week, you can take his body. In fact, during the last 6 months, in fact, during the last year, you can take his body. But if you lie and you touch him, you will have horrible consequences. You will suffer horrible consequences for lying. And the police officer that was in between the two groups, he was shocked with big silence. Nobody talks about the go register like that. So definitely, he's a great inspiration for us. Great inspiration. He's like our spiritual grandfather. His disciple used to call him Srila Prabhupada. And when Srila Prabhupada's disciples started calling him Srila Prabhupada, there was a commotion in the Gaudiya. Why? Why do you call him Srila Prabhupada? Of course, some of his god brothers say, no, he has the right to wear the title Prabhupada, Srila Maharaj. Say, no, he's doing what Prabhupada wanted us to do, and none of you did it. He's doing it, therefore he's Prabhupada. So, Srila Prabhupada used to say sometimes that many of his god brothers were to visit playing bells. Just engaged in worshiping deities and playing bells. They are all bell ringers. Somebody said that to Sridhar Maharaj, his god brother. He said, if I could be a bell ringer in his mission, I would consider my life a success. The mission he has created is so great that if I'm allowed to be a bell ringer in his mission, I will consider my life actually a great success. So we don't want to continue to have any coming in his life, but you can sit here. Mm-hmm. Yes, she's asking about the dream of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati that he saw the Parishathatva and his associate, similar to Srila Prabhupada. Yes, actually, when the Acharyas speak about this kind of phenomenon, they call it spuriti. Spuriti. It means like something like in the context of a dream. It's like a spuriti, it's like a revelation when you are in a sleeping-like condition. Yes, many of them have this dream. Srila Prabhupada had this dream when he said, when I was forced to take sannyas by my guru, forced. I didn't want to take sannyas because we are in an institution. If in this institution, for example, we take sannyas, we are set for life. We are set, we have free food, we have the best room, we have paid ticket, we have free cell phone, we are an authority, isn't it? No, if you are in an institution and you take sannyas, I mean, you made it. Now everybody respects you, you have the last word, free food, room and board. But in India, to take sannyas is like something serious. It's like if you are told, okay, now you walk that door and survive. No house, no money, no, just walk on the street, go to the I-95 and get some money. It's serious, it's serious. So Srila Prabhupada said, my guru was appearing in my dream and telling me, you have to take sannyas, you have to take sannyas. And Prabhupada commented, and I was horrified. You have to take sannyas. And finally, when he was living in the mat of his brother Keshava Maharaj, Keshava Maharaj was also telling him, you have to take sannyas. If you want people to take you for seriously, you have to take sannyas. And there was a man there, he was 90 years old. 90 years old. He was has a god brother of Srila Prabhupada, not a man, devotee, in the correct manner, he's a devotee, 90 years of age. And Prabhupada said to Keshava, okay, I will take sannyas if he takes sannyas. You know, when you're going through a difficult condition, it's better to go with somebody. I will take sannyas if he takes sannyas. And they asked this devotee, he said, okay, I will take sannyas. 90 years old. And Prabhupada said, okay, I take sannyas. And they took sannyas. Srila Prabhupada was called Bhaktisiddhanta Swami. He already had the Bhaktisiddhanta title, and his god-brother was named Muni. Yes, another dream that Prabhupada had was he was coming in the Jnana Vita, that he has 2 heart attacks. He was thinking, if I have a 3rd heart attack, 2 heart attacks continuously, one day, next day. If I have a 3rd one, I will not survive. So at that night when he was sleeping, he has this dream that Krishna came on a canoe, standing and all the incarnation of the different incarnations of Krishna were rowing, and Krishna told him, do not worry about it, I will protect you. So, but there is a second part to that dream. Have you heard? To that reality. It's not a dream, it's a reality. That Prabhupada never mentioned it. I was told personally by Ramananda Prabhu that a very close friend of Srila Prabhupada told him that he said, Bhaktisiddhanta told me, but he told me, don't say to anybody. He was very close to them, don't say to anybody. And this person, before he was passing away, Ramananda Prabhu said, he told me. And I used to be very close to him, Ramananda. He gave me the chance to be close to him. He told me, we were in Vrindavan. He told me, and now I'm telling you. Prabhupada said, don't say anything, but he told him, you don't I'm not telling you. Prabhupada told him that night, when he was lying on his bed, for a heart attack, very weak, said, Krishna came personally and massaged my heart. Krishna personally came and put his heart within my heart and massaged my heart. And that's why he called it. Which is not surprising, they are Krishna's friends. The friends come for you. For us it's surprising, oh my God, God told me. No, for them, God is a daily reality. They are his friends, person to person. That's the meaning of the personal God, by the way. That you have a personal encounter with him. That's the meaning. That's why it is said that the bliss that you may obtain in personal realization, personal liberation, cannot compare, not even with half of a drop of the ocean of Prema Bhakti. That's why Narottam Das Thakur used to sing Kaivalya Narakaya Te. Personal liberation is worse than hell. Because in hell you suffer and then, Krishna, you get out of there. But once you go to personal liberation, you are practically free. Yes, if you have any other comments? Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Goswami Maharaj ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.